I made like 100 today, but was hungry and looking real bummy today. You was bony and looking too funny today. I don't care, niggas still make change. Let's go. That's all I fucking hear, cause I got.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Chatting with Cheeze podcast. I'm your host, Fat Cheeze, and y'all already know the motto: no gimmicks, only the real. Do not forget to like and share the content, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are almost at 100 subscribers. We on the road, so I need y'all to hit that subscribe button. Anytime my short come up, anything like that, please hit the subscribe button. We on our way to 100 subscribers. Today gonna be a little quick episode. I just wanted to come on and talk about a couple topics that's been going on during the week. I hope y'all had a great week, and let's get prepared for this new week headed towards us. So first and foremost, we're gonna get right into it. The Los Angeles Lakers signed JJ Redick to a 4-year deal to become the new head coach of the team. People been writing me, telling me to speak on this, so I'm gonna speak on it just for a little bit. I kind of got some mixed emotions about it. I got some pros and cons that I wanted to speak on. So first, we're gonna start with the pros. I like JJ Redick. I think JJ Redick is a good basketball mind. I watch him a couple times when he come on First Take with Stephen A. I like the banter between him and Stephen A. They always going back and forth. And I actually watch his podcast. I tuned into a couple episodes of the podcast that he had with LeBron. That's kind of ironic. Him and LeBron started a podcast, and now he is head coach. But nevertheless, I watched the podcast. Like I said, I think JJ Redick is a good basketball mind. You could tell he really knows the game. He's an X's and O's guys. So he like to, when you watch his podcast, he like to deep dive into, the way plays and stuff is set up and things like that. Like I said, do I think he's a capable head coach? I think he can be. Me personally, I wouldn't have quite wanted my first head coaching job to be the Los Angeles Lakers just because of the immense pressure that's going to be on him to come in there and win from Jump Street. Like with the Lakers, coaching the Lakers is like coaching the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? And me as a Cowboys fan, I know how the head coaches are perceived. You know what I'm saying? They got a short leash. So JJ Redick coming in there with immense pressure. You get LeBron James, you get Anthony Davis, the city of Los Angeles. They don't take nothing but winning. They don't expect nothing but winning. They never lower their expectations. So for him to come in and that be his first job, I mean, he gonna have to hit the ground running. Immediately, the first thing is going to be to assemble a staff. I seen that he has Sam Cassell could be on his radar to come join his staff. Rajon Rondo could be on the radar to come join his staff. But that's going to be the main thing, getting the staff together that he can be comfortable with, that can help him, because there's going to be bumps in the road. You a first-year head coach. I've never seen JJ Redick coach any heard about him coaching anything, even like Little League, nothing. So you a first year head coach in the NBA. You're gonna need guys on your staff that can come in and kind of help you out and get over those bumps and hurdles that is gonna happen for a first year head coach. So that's gonna be the main thing. Second thing, he's gonna, if I'm him, get with LeBron, get with Anthony Davis. I'm pretty sure he probably already got with Rob Pelinka to see what direction the Lakers want to go in. You know what I'm saying? As far as this upcoming season, what do you do in free agency? What moves? I think the Lakers kind of on a short leash as far as what they can do in free agency with the assets that they got. Can you maybe make a couple of moves? Can you maybe bring in a couple of guys on vet minimum contracts? You got to see what's going to go on with LeBron contract and everything like that, because it was rumors that he possibly contest free agency, which I'm not buying. But I think so. They gotta find. I think that they gotta find a direction on where they want the team to be headed this year, and he's gonna have to. Like I said, he's gonna have to hit the ground running. You got the draft coming up. He's gonna have to hit the ground running and just find out the direction and see where he want to go with the team, and what's in the idea of the team. Where do they want to go? And get with Jeannie Buss, get with Rob Pelinka. You're gonna have to get with LeBron and AD and just sit down and figure everything out. So those are my pros. Like I said, my pros are, I think he's a great basketball mind. He know he's an excellent X's and O's guy. He played in the league, so he kind of knows. If you listen to him, you could tell he's a smart guy. He want to be the smartest guy. You could tell he's a smart guy. So I think those are my pros. My cons, and I stated a couple of them a little while ago. But my cons in watching and this hire is, my first con is JJ Redick wasn't they main target. If you know, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, the report had came out that they was willing to make a historic offer to Dan Hurley, the head coach of the Connecticut Huskies, back-to-back NCAA champ head coach. They was trying to make an offer to him. He was their main target. Dan Hurley ended up turning the contract down and decided he was going to stay in Connecticut. And I think then that's when I feel like that the Lakers kind of ran out of options, and they was like, all right, this thing is kind of getting played out. Let's just go ahead and see if have a meeting with JJ Redick, and that's the way I think that they landed on JJ Redick. I think JJ Redick was always interested in being a coach, but I felt like that the Lakers, he wasn't the Lakers' first options, which he shouldn't be. Like I said, which is one of my cons. We've never heard of JJ Redick coaching before. Not Little League, not middle school, not high school, not college, not. So basically JJ Redick kind of cut the line. I don't know if it's because of his relationships, you know what I'm saying, behind the scenes of him being on TV. Maybe his relationship with LeBron played a factor. A lot of things, but you know, I don't blame the Lakers for him not being their first option, because you really don't know what you're getting. My second con for him is, just because, you know, we see you talk about basketball and what you do on your podcast, that don't always mean that it is going to translate to, you know what I'm saying, actually out there on the floor, on the sideline, you know what I'm saying, coaching these guys. Because you got to understand, it's easy to talk about it and, you know, watch the film and look at things like that. But when you actually got to coach these guys, you actually got to get a rapport with them. You know, you're going to have to make some tough decisions. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole different ball game from sitting with LeBron on the screen or sitting in your podcast room. It's different. So that's another one. This hire for me, it kind of reminds me of when Brooklyn hired Steve Nash. Steve Nash he was on the Golden State staff for a little bit, but prior to that, Steve Nash never was a head coach before in the league, and all of a sudden you get hired for a Brooklyn job to coach. You know what I'm saying? At the time, it was just KD and Kyrie, two of the best scorers to ever play the game in NBA history. And then they added on James Harden. So, you know, for Steve, people like, hold on, how did Steve Nash land that job? You know, so this is what that kind of reminds me of. And as we all know, Steve Nash ended up getting fired. I think the second season. It was the second season. In the middle of the season, he ended up getting fired. No, it might have been the third season, if I'm not mistaken. It was one of them, but he ended up getting fired in the middle of the season. We all know how that ended up going. So we got to see. But my question is, and this is nothing to do with JJ Redick or, you know, the Lakers organization, but this is the question that I have, and this is for all the owners in the NBA. I just want to know, and y'all could comment, y'all could put this down in the comment section for me, or somebody help me out. But I want to know, what did Mark Jackson do that was so bad that he can't land a head coaching job? Mark Jackson not even getting interviews. I don't even see Mark Jackson getting interviews. Like, I'm trying to figure out, what could this man have done that was so bad where he can't even get an interview for a head coaching job? You see all these guys with no head coaching experience, and it's not a knock on them. I'm not saying it, but you see all these guys, they come and they getting jobs, and Mark Jackson can't seem to get a job nowhere. We all know. Let's be honest, and this ain't no knock to Steve Kerr, because I think Steve Kerr came in and he did what he was supposed to do. He won championship. No knock on Steve Kerr, but Mark Jackson built Golden State. Mark Jackson is the one that got them boys, developed them. Steph, Klay, Draymond. That was Mark Jackson foundation. Steve Kerr benefited off of what Mark Jackson already had built. And like I said, this is no knock on Steve Kerr. I think Steve Kerr is an excellent head coach. But come on now. It's no way in the world that this man did something that bad that he can't get a head coaching job. Sam Cassell is being looked at to possibly join J.J. Redick's staff. Why Sam Cassell wasn't considered for a job? I just find it crazy, but not to switch on to Sam Cassell, but that was another name that I thought about too. You know what I'm saying? Who has been sitting on plenty of sidelines for quite some time, and for some reason he can't seem to get a head coaching job. But it's the Mark Jackson thing is like real weird to me, and I need y'all to help me out in the comments because maybe I'm missing something. But, you know, it's been little rumors, speculations on why he can't get a job. But it's just weird to me that a guy that basically laid the foundation out for what soon to became a dynasty, he can't even get an interview for a head coaching job. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. But listen, shout out to JJ Redick. I'm wishing you nothing but success. I'm hoping that he can succeed. He can succeed in his new role with the Lakers as their head coach. Like I said, he got to hit the ground running. You go into a team with an older LeBron. You have Anthony Davis right now. I feel like he's at the peak of his career. So JJ Redick gonna have to come in there and hit the ground running. And trust me, it's gonna be some bumps and some lumps on the road. You know what I'm saying? Along the road, but hopefully, you know what I'm saying, they can get an idea of where the team is headed, where they want the team, in the direction they want the team to be headed in, and JJ Redick can succeed in his new role. We'll just have to wait and see next season. But I just wanted to touch on that topic. People who had hit me up and told me, you know what I'm saying, talk about it. So there you have it. That's what those are my pros and cons to JJ Redick now becoming the Lakers' new head coach. Moving on to the next subject. The next subject that I want to speak on is the future of Paul George and Klay Thompson. So first, I'm going to start with Klay Thompson. And I like Klay Thompson. We all know Klay Thompson, 4 championships, Golden State, one of the greatest shooters of all times. He's going to go down as a short ballot Hall of Famer. I like Klay Thompson, but when I thought about this subject and it came up to me personally, I seen that he's seeking for, he don't want to break the bank. What he said, he looking for a 3-year contract from Golden State, or I guess from any team that's willing to sign him. But I'm presuming, of course, he probably would prefer to stay in Golden State. Me personally, if I'm Golden State, I'm not re-signing him. The reason why I'm not re-signing him is because sometimes, you know, I think it's kind of hard for players to understand, and sometimes teams, because when it comes to these contracts, especially when you paying these older players, you know, some teams pay guys just off of what they've done for that franchise. I felt like paying Draymond Green last season was a bad idea. I wouldn't have paid Draymond. I'm sorry, but sometimes franchises get caught up in, we got to pay guys for what they've done for the franchise. Like I said, we all know what Klay Thompson has done in Golden State. We know they built a dynasty there. We know the 4 championships. That's good, and then that's great and all that. But at the same time, when you in the sport, especially the NBA, NFL, it's about what have you done for me lately. The last thing everybody remember is Klay Thompson going 0 for 10 in that play-in game against Sacramento. That's the last thing anybody remember. There's no way you could watch Klay Thompson right now, even last season, and say that's the same. And you're not, of course, after all those deep playoff runs and those injuries, it took him a while to come back. He just probably getting his feet under him and all that. So nobody's is expecting Klay Thompson to be Klay Thompson from 2016, Klay Thompson from 2007. Nobody's expecting that, but he's not the same guy, and you can't pay him like he's that same guy. At this point in time, to me, and I'm sorry to say, and this is no disrespect to Klay Thompson, I love him. He's had a great career. Klay Thompson is a role player. He's not, to me, he's not a guy that you pay him and he makes that much of a significant difference on a team that, you know what I'm saying, you feel the need to have to pay him. I'm sorry, if I'm Golden State, I think it's time that I will let him hit free agency, see what he can get in free agency, and I will move on. You have young guys there that you can build up. You're not gonna move on from Steph. You already paid Draymond, so you kind of stuck there. But you got guys like Jonathan Kuminga. He's been, you know what I'm saying, his production has been going up every year since he's been in the league. Eventually, he's going to be looking to get paid. You're going to want to keep him because he's a young piece. So you're going to have to pay him. So you got to think about that. You got guys like Brandon. I'm sorry if I'm terrible kind of pronouncing names, but I'm going to try my best. Brandon Podimski. But he gave you good production last year, averaging about 9 points. So you know what I'm saying, you want to build these guys up. You got guys like Moses Moody. I like Moses Moody. Those are the guys that you want to start building up to, you know what I'm saying, kind of build that future for Golden State. You got to see what you're going to do with Andrew Wiggins. He kind of fell off last year. Do you decide to maybe move on from him or try to maybe trade? You got to figure things out. But as far as the Klay Thompson situation, I'm moving on because I just feel like sometimes things run their course, and I feel like the whole Klay Thompson and all that, it's ran its course. You got 4 championships out of it. You can't ask for nothing more than that. You got 4 championships out of it. I say you be grateful for that. Thank Klay for everything he's done for that organization, and you move on. He gave you and like I said, I feel like Klay Thompson still have some left in the tank, but he's not the Klay Thompson of old with people where you feel like you have to pay him. I feel like if I had to think of some teams for him, I heard the Orlando Magic as a possible suitor. I like that. He can go there with a young team. They made the playoffs last year, so it's only up for them. You got Banchero over there. You needed somebody else you could put around him. You got Wagner over there, so they have some pieces over there. Klay Thompson can come in there, be that vet guy, help them, you know what I'm saying, maybe build off what they did last year. I heard somebody mention Detroit. I don't know if Klay Thompson would want to go to Detroit. I'm sorry. I wouldn't want to go to Detroit. They would have to build that up a little bit more. But maybe Klay would be willing to take less money. Maybe I'm not gonna say all the way a vet, but maybe less money to try to go to a contender. The Knicks could be a possibility. Maybe try to go to Dallas. You can see, everybody gonna always throw the Lakers as a possibility. His history with the Lakers. His dad playing for the Lakers. So there's going to be plenty of options out there for Klay Thompson. He gave you 17 points last year. He still shot 38.7% from 3. So, like I said, he gave you flashes. I'm not totally giving up on Klay, but I'm just saying, I was speaking on the fact from Golden State. If I'm Golden State, I'm not paying him. But another team could still see the value in him. Like I said, he maybe could take less and go to a contender and try to compete for another championship. Or if he want to take a role being that vet guy for a young team like Orlando, that could be a good option for him too. But I just want him to know, if you decide to go to Orlando, they're going to be expecting, some people are going to be expecting that old Klay Thompson. And if you can't kind of muster that up, then I don't know. But like I said, Orlando, I feel like would be a solid fit for him. Or if he's willing to take less and maybe go to a contender, that could be options for him too. But if I'm Golden State, I'm not looking to pay him. Moving on to Paul George. So I seen a couple of reports. Actually, before I started recording, I seen a report that the Knicks may be willing to trade for him if he decided to opt into his contract. Maybe do like a sign and trade with the Clippers. I don't know who the Knicks would give up. Could Julius Randle possibly be an option? They got a couple of pieces over there that they could maybe look to move. But I like Paul George as an idea for the Knicks. I said it when the Knicks lost to Indiana. I felt like that the Knicks needed to add another piece with Jalen Brunson, somebody who could create their own shot and go get a bucket alongside Jalen Brunson. I like Jalen Brunson. He had a phenomenal year last year, but I don't feel like Jalen Brunson is one of those guys that, and this is no disrespect to him, but I don't feel like Jalen Brunson can be your only piece, and that can get you over the hump to winning the championship, especially after what we just seen what Boston did in the mob that they got over there that they most likely bringing back next year. So you need to add somebody with Jalen Brunson. I don't know if they try to maybe keep Julius Randle, but I mean, look, they almost made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year without Julius Randle. If you can still get that same production from DiVincenzo, Alec Burks gave you some production off the bench after they made the trade for him. They had a lot of injuries. They still got to figure out what's gonna happen with my man. Traded from OG Anunoby. They got to figure out what's going to happen with his situation. Is he going to decide to sign back or whatever? So I like the idea of him going to the Knicks. That's a good possibility. I think if I had to think, before I get to that, but I also seen a report saying that the Clippers believe that he will resign. I said it earlier. I feel like the Clippers should blow it up. You've had Kawhi and Paul George all these years, and you only had one Western Conference Finals to show for it. They haven't done anything. Kawhi can't stay healthy. It's either one of the two. Either Paul George is hurt or Kawhi is hurt. I feel like it's time to just blow it up. I understand the Clippers will be going into their new stadium next year. They want to fill the seats up, but you can't keep repeating the same thing over and over again. You can't keep paying Kawhi and Paul George and just expecting different changes when you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. I feel like the Paul George and Kawhi Leonard experiment has ran its course in LA. I think it's time to blow it up and move on. I would see what Paul George is going to do. If he decide to opt in, I would look for maybe a sign and trade, or if he opts out, I would let him go ahead and see if he could find somebody else that's willing to pay him. I just think that the Clippers need to go into rebuild mode. I stated that in one of my prior episodes. I feel like it's time to blow it up. If I'm Paul George, a suitor for him, Indiana, a possible reunion with Indiana. You seen what Indiana did last year, this past year, going to the Eastern Conference Finals. You got Halliburton over there, who's a rising star. You add Paul George to that. You got Siakam, who I think they're getting ready to sign to an extension. So if you could have a trio of Halliburton, Paul George, and Pascal Siakam, that's a pretty good trio to have with Miles Turner if he comes back. I like the guys. You got what's my man name? You got Neesmith over there. Then you got Nembhard over there. So I think Paul George going back to Indiana wouldn't be a bad idea. They a lot of them games that they had against the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals was close. They just couldn't close. So you add Paul George to that. I think Indiana could kind of make some noise if they add a Paul George. Another option for me for Paul George could be maybe OKC, a reunion in OKC. You know, OKC got those draft picks. They got assets that they maybe can move around. They just brought in, we're going to speak on that after this. They just brought in Alex Caruso. So I don't know, but I the idea of bringing in Paul George with Shea, you just got Caruso. Been rumors about them possibly getting Hawkinstein from the Knicks, and just J-Dub over there. You pair Paul George with that young team, so that's a good possibility for him. And then you had the 76ers. Now, I know a report came out that said the 76ers was no longer interested, but I would have liked the idea for the 76ers to go after Paul George. And they need it, because I'm here to tell you right now, after what we just seen from Boston, Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid is not going to cut, especially with the health of Joel Embiid. You never know how long it is Joel Embiid is going to be healthy. So you got to think about that. You got a certain window. Eventually, I'm going to tell you, Philly, and it's for Philly, I'm going to tell you, eventually Joel Embiid, y'all better figure something out, or Joel Embiid probably gonna one out eventually, because I mean, come on now, you gotta figure something out. You let go Jimmy Butler, you let Jimmy Butler walk and you kept Tobias Harris, which was a terrible thing. Now I feel like it's time to move on from Tobias Harris, and I would try to go after Paul George. Maybe see, you seen him and Joel Embiid sitting. Joel Embiid was making little pitches at him at that finals game in Dallas. So I don't know why the rumor is saying that Philly is no longer interested. I don't know what they have up their sleeve, but him going to Philly could be a good option. Team him up with Maxey. Maxey is a rising star, and have Joel Embiid, and Paul George as a trio in the East. That's another. I think they can make some noise. So those are my my thoughts on Paul George. Now we're gonna move on to what I just spoke on. Alex Caruso traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder straight up for Josh Giddey. My first question is about that whole situation is Chicago. Like, what are you doing? I know them Bulls fans, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. Ever since it's like, okay, you had the MJ era, y'all was great. We know 6 championships. Then you had the Derrick Rose era, until Derrick Rose got. Ever since the Derrick Rose situation had happened, I just don't know what direction this organization was headed. You mean to tell me? And like I said, I like Josh Giddey. Besides, the little situation with the dating the girl. I'm not here to speak on that. But my whole thing with this whole situation is you basically traded for you traded one of the best on-ball defenders in Alex Caruso. I love Alex Caruso. You traded one of the best on-ball defenders, might be the best on-ball defender in the league, for a guy in Josh Giddey who can't shoot the basketball. He actually started to become a liability in the playoffs because of his inabilities to shoot the ball. He great assist guy. He made. I just don't understand like what logic went into that. And then you got the Oklahoma City Thunder, who got the number 12 draft pick in the draft this year. They got a plethora of draft picks. You mean to tell me you traded Josh Giddey for Alex Caruso straight up? You didn't try to get none of their draft picks or anything? You didn't at least even try to get the number 12 pick that they have this year? I don't understand that. Like I said, maybe they see something in Josh Giddey that everybody else didn't see. And I know it's gonna be some people that's probably gonna say, "Oh man, you a casual." Man, listen. There's a bunch of people trying to figure out what the hell is going on in that Chicago organization, not just me. So if y'all feel like I'm a casual, then I guess 75 to 80% of the people out here in the world is casuals, because everybody trying to figure out the same thing. You just made the Oklahoma City Thunder odds to win a championship way better now because of that move. Like I said, you just gave a team that was the number 1 seed in the West last year. You just gave them the best on-ball defender possibly in the NBA, Alex Caruso, who also can shoot the 3 ball. You know what I'm saying? Alex Caruso is capable of scoring too. Alex Caruso can give you anywhere from 12 to, 12 to 15, 17 points on a good night. And also, now you team him up with Lou Dort. Now you got 2 of the best on-ball defenders in the league now on the same team. Come on now. I love the move for the Thunder. But Chicago, I don't know. And now it's saying that it's rumors that DeMar DeRozan possibly won't be there. They may look to trade him, and they already been trying to find suitors for Zach LaVine. It seemed like nobody don't want Zach LaVine. So I think right now Chicago, they just having a fire sale. It's all hands on deck. They in rebuild mode. They gotta be. I'm looking at it as they gotta be in rebuild mode. You just traded Alex Caruso. DeMar DeRozan possibly won't be there, and they trying to give away Zach LaVine, and nobody don't seem to want him. So I don't know, but shout out to the Thunder. I like the move. I think that right there made the Thunder a legit. They was already a threat this year. That move right there with Alex Caruso, that makes them an even more bigger threat. I think that they need to possibly make maybe 1 or 2 more moves to kind of like round the team out. I think they need to go get a center. That's why I mentioned that there's a rumor bubbling, and I think it's going to happen, that they may end up getting Hartenstein from the Knicks. I think he's a free agent, so they'll probably sign him. Getting Hartenstein, that's a good. Hartenstein gave the Knicks some very good production in that playoff. In these playoffs that just passed with Robinson going down. Hartenstein came in and showed his value. You add him to the Thunder. You still got Chet. You know, Harkenstein just going to give you that big body. You know, Chet is a frail. You know, he got that small frame. Harkenstein can come in there. He give you that big body who can, you know, box out, get rebounds. And, you know, Chet kind of like take some of that load off of Chet a little bit. So I like the move. I think the Thunder is going to be another threat in the Western Conference. They're going to be another threat to come out of the West. They just getting better and better. And I think Sam Presti, he knows that they have a window, and he not sitting on his hands. He's saying, nah, we made it this far last year with this young team. Now let's build around it and let's go get this championship. So shout out to the Thunder. I like the move for Caruso. Chicago. To the fans, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully, you know, things get better in the near future. Moving on. Last subject. This is a quick episode. It's not going to be that long. So, this week, it came out that the commission, they reversed the loss that Devin Haney took at the hands of Ryan Garcia. They suspended Ryan Garcia for a year. He got some fines and stuff he got to pay, and they reversed Devin Haney's L. So Devin Haney is now undefeated once again. I had mixed emotions about this subject, just because of the simple fact I came on here and I discussed after what happened in the fight. But honestly, and I think this speak for me and just the boxing world in total, I think a lot of people just glad that it's over. Like, I'm glad that it's over. Let's move on from it. They said the man, me personally, I looked at it as it was kind of weird that the man tested positive all the way leading up into the fight, and then all of a sudden the day before and the day after, the day of and the day after, his test pop up negative. Devin been doing a lot of crying about Bill Haney, been making all these little commercial videos on his Instagram talking about Ryan Garcia not good for the sport. I'm just glad that it's over. Let Ryan get his suspension over for his year. Devin say he gonna take a year off or whatever. I think they should fight again. If you think that the PEDs are the reason that Ryan beat you the first time, okay, he got suspended. Whatever the heck, you got your undefeated back. You got your 0 back. Let's wait this thing out a year. I don't know if he gonna take a fight before that or not. I presume he will, because you don't want to sit off for a whole year and then. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that, but fight him again. Now let's see if we can. If he gonna be clean, him clean. You say you was clean. Let's have a rematch. Haney versus Garcia part 2, and let's see if it make a difference. Because me personally, I don't feel like no PEDs is gonna make you. You know what I'm saying? You got hit with the same shot over and over and over again. You didn't make any in your corner blame, you know what I'm saying, your dad. Y'all didn't make no adjustments, but I'm not taking up for Ryan Garcia. If he cheated, cheating is a no-go. If he cheated, he deserved to be suspended. He deserved to, you know what I'm saying, deserve for it to be a no contest. He don't deserve that. Cheaters, you never prosper when you cheating. So I'm not upset about that if he cheated, but if you feel like he cheated, at the end of the day, you still got people out there who gonna say, we seen you get whooped. You know you got the video with your butt all in the air and all that. Run it back. And let's see if it really did make a difference. Run it back. Let Ryan sit his year out, and then when he's eligible to fight again, run it back with him. I want to see Devin get in the ring with I want to see, you already know, I want to see him get in the ring with Tank. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I want to see him get in the ring with Tank. I know he got to come up with a decision soon about is he going to vacate the belt at 140 or I think fight the guy Martin coming up. So I don't know about that. It's been so much going on as far as in the boxing world with Devin Haney. So it's a lot going on. But as far as the Ryan Garcia and Devin thing, I'm just glad that it's over. Let's leave it alone. Let's move on. They suspended Ryan. He got to pay these fines. Devin got his undefeated record back. He happy about that. He doing Michael Jackson dances on his Instagram. He happy. That's what mean the most to him. So good for you, Devin. You got your O back. Ryan suspended. Let's wait this year out and let's run it back. And we going to really see if the PEDs made a big difference and with the results we got in the fight. So that's it for that. I just want to speak on that for a little bit. Man, everybody have a good and productive week. And I'll be dropping something next week. Once again, do not forget to like and share the content. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I appreciate all my supporters from the bottom of my heart. Y'all already know the motto. No gimmicks, only the real. I see y'all next time.